Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Morton, you've testified that the decision to release this 2,228 individuals was yours and yours alone, that you had no suggestion, conversation, memo, order, or communication of any kind from anyone outside the agency. Is that your testimony here today?
That's right.
Once you've made a decision of that magnitude, did you communicate that to the Secretary, anyone on behalf of the Secretary, to OMB, anyone working for OMB, or anyone at the White House or working for the White House after that?
No,
just yes or no, Mr. Morton. I don't have much time.
The answer to that is no, and I've said I regret, both with regard to the Congress.
That's all right. I just need the facts on that. The other thing Mr. Gowdy pointed out, the reason this is so suspicious is not just the act, but the timing of the act. We know that OMB had issued gag orders on many agencies not to talk about sequestration. We know the Department of Defense had that. And you issued this decision in February when the campaign to talk about sequestration was undertaken by the President. But I want to take you back to December and November of 2012. You bragged about the fact you've been there for 4 years. As you know, sequestration was passed in August of 2011. You had a year or so to look at that. Every mathematical fact and statistic that you had would have been exactly the same in November and December. In fact, no one in this room knew that sequestration was going to be postponed from January 1st to March 1st until January 1st. Why didn't you make this decision in November or December of last year?
Well, first of all, the principal decisions were made by the career officials. It wasn't.
Why didn't they make them in November or December of last year?
And approved this decision, but the decision itself was made by the people who run enforcement.
But why didn't they do it last year? All the same statistics, all the same monetary, budgetary issues, everything was present last year that was present in February of this year, and yet you waited until February to make that decision.
And there is, where are we? We are at an average of 34,000.
You were at the same average as last year.
That's right, but it goes up and down all
but that projection was the same last year. You're not in a cyclical point in December where you couldn't project this was going to be the same kind of forecast, could you?
Last year, we had a full year appropriation.
I'm talking about in December of last year, Mr. Morton. You had the same exact appropriation situation you're looking at now.
December of the fiscal year prior
of 2012.
December of December.
Let me move on, because the bottom line is you don't have an answer for that. Let me ask you this question, see if you have an answer for this one. On the individuals, 2,228 people you released, were any of them members of a violent criminal gang?
There is, I think there are 2 cases, at least one that I know of, that when we went back and looked at the information, there was a gang affiliation. That person is in.
Do you ask the individuals that you're detaining whether they're members of a violent criminal gang or not?
We try wherever we can to.
No, that's not my question. I mean, is that part of your questioning? Do you have that information on the people that you released?
I don't know if we ask each and every person.
So then you can't really answer for the 2,228. All you can say is that you know that 2 of these individuals had a gang affiliation, but you don't know whether any of the other 2,228 had a gang affiliation or not?
I can't speak to every person we detain. No, I can't.
Okay, so then it's possible that we release someone who was here illegally, who had been charged or convicted with a crime and could have voluntarily been part of a violent criminal gang. You wouldn't know that.
On the convictions, yes, we would.
I said charged or convicted.
Yeah, so I'm saying on convictions we would.
Okay.
On just general gang affiliation, I can't say that we would know for.
All right, let me ask you this question. On the aggravated felonies that you talked about, I'm looking at the list here, and I'm just running through a couple of them, but no one on that list was charged or convicted with murder, rape, or sexual abuse of a minor, were they?
They were not.
Was anyone charged or convicted of illicit trafficking in a controlled substance?
There were some with drug offenses. The individual I mentioned earlier, who is 68 and a lawful permanent resident.
Were any involved in child pornography?
Not of the ones that I am aware of the release, no.
So of the 2,228, you can testify that none of them were involved in child pornography?
To the best of my knowledge, I can testify the answer is no.
Well, to the best of your knowledge just means that you don't have any knowledge of it now. Have you reviewed that, or can you testify that that none of them were?
I can tell you that I have reviewed the summaries of all 2,228. I have not looked at the actual conviction records personally on such a number. I've not looked at every A.
Can you answer me this question, because my time's about out? What time frame are these individuals to report back where somebody can actually lay eyes on them and say that we know that they're complying? Give us those time frequencies and what percentage of them have started reporting back.
It depends on what sort of release you're put on. If you're on ATD, it can be as often as every week, and plus you have your bracelet, so it's constant monitoring. If you're on an order of supervision, it can depend. It can be monthly, it can be weekly, it can be quarterly. The same is true of an order of recognizance. Obviously, with a bond, you're dealing with a financial obligation that you must address. There's some combination of the two, too. We have the power to order.
So some of them you have as far as a quarterly.
The gentleman
I'll yield back.
has expired. I thank the gentleman.